All right, thanks, guys. Coming off another winning day in our Patreon premium selections. We did go 3-3, but two of those wins, very nice, juicy plus money plays. So that's going to put us in the black once again. Another day. We're looking to do a little bit of the same today, if not get better. Just to give you a heads up, we are 60% our last 20 board member plays on Patreon. We're also 61% in our last 62 Underdog plays. And of course, that 61% entails a lot of plus money action. So we're doing very good in those two categories. And we're also a perfect 6-0 in college football through week 0 and week 1. So check that action out at patreon.com/BrockPage. Now we have ourselves a nice juicy slate of Major League Baseball action here for this Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. We're halfway there. The weekend is almost here. Now we're going to go ahead and start off with the Mets taking on the Nats. What a game last night. That one hurt us. We were on the Mets on Patreon and looked like it was a lock after the top of the ninth, and you guys all saw what happened. But anyway, Mets taking on the Nats, 1:05 Eastern first pitch in Washington. The Nats are minus 120, totals at 10. We saw a nickel move toward Washington and movement upward on the total. The Nats open $1.15 up to 120. Total open 9.5 up to 10. Right now, New York is plus 110 on the money line. We have Zach Wheeler for the Mets, Anibal Sanchez for the Nats. Sanchez is 8-6 with a 3.80 ERA. He also punched out 116 batters thus far on the season. Now, Zach Wheeler on the other side for the Mets, 4.41 ERA, 1.30 whip. The Mets have won just 17 out of 43 as the official road underdog. They're also winning just 41% of their games at the current market price. Now, the Nats on the other side, they are in first place in the NL East. They're also winning 66% of their games as the official home favorite. Now, total-wise, Washington is 13-5 to the over, taking on the Mets. I'm going to lean Nationals minus 120 and the over 10 runs in that game. Next matchup, Rangers, Yankees, 635 Bronx. The Yankees are minus 335, totals 9.5. We saw a nickel move toward New York and movement upward on the total. The Yankees open 330 up to 335. Total open 9 up to 9.5. We have Lance Lynn for the Rangers, Chad Green for the Yankees. Green comes into this game with a 2-4 record, 5.01 ERA, and a 1.38 whip. Lance Lynn on the other side for Texas, 14-9 on the year, 3.77 ERA, 202 strikeouts on the year. Now, Texas is 20-8 to the under when Lynn makes the start. I think there's incredible value in this price point. I'm going to go ahead and lean Texas plus 1.5 and the under 9.5 runs in that game. Next matchup, Phillies, Reds, 640 Cincinnati. The Phils are minus 130, totals 8.5. Not a whole lot of movement on the total. We did see a nickel move toward the Phils. They open $1.25 up to minus 130. Total open and remains at 8.5. Right now, the Reds are plus 120 at home. We have Aaron Nola for the Phils, Trevor Bauer for the Reds. Bauer is just 1-4 with an 8.40 ERA and a 1.70 whip since joining the Reds. Aaron Nola on the other side, completely different story. 12-4 on the year, 3.45 ERA, 194 strikeouts. Now, the Reds have really struggled when expected to lose. They've won just 31 out of 82 as the official Vegas underdog this year. They're also 341 in their games at the current market price. Now, on the other side, the Phils are 18-11 straight up when Nola throws out the first pitch. They're also winning 60% of their games as the official favorite in those matchups. One more thing to add about the Phillies. They're just 2.5 games back for that second wildcard spot in the National League. Very much alive, right there in the mix. And in a matter of a couple of games, could be sitting pretty in that second wildcard spot. Now, total-wise, the Reds are just 36% to the over when the line was 8 to 8.5. I'm going to lean fighting Phils minus 130 and the under 8.5 in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and just once again welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Wednesday's Major League Baseball action. But before we go ahead and get into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you once again to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. We do daily plays on that site. We have a bunch of different memberships and packages that begin at just $1.99 per month. Once again, we are 60% in our last 20 board member plays. We're also 61% in our last 62 underdog plays. So that is 61% catching sweet, juicy plus money. And we're also a perfect 6-0 on the year in our college football package. We have not lost a game yet. 6-0 through week 0-1 in our college football package. You get 3 plays a week with that package. Just $14.99 a month. There's also plenty of free content there as well. You actually don't even have to buy a thing. You can check out my current record for free right there on patreon.com/BrockPage. Link is in the description section below. All right, let's go ahead and slide back into some more games. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got the Marlins taking on the Pirates, 7:05 Pittsburgh. The Pirates are 185, totals at 9. Nickel move toward Pittsburgh and moving downward on the total. The Pirates open 180 up to 185. Total open 9.5 down to 9. Miami's plus 170 on the money line. We have Robert Duggar for the Marlins, Trevor Williams for the Pirates. Williams comes into this game with a 5.26 ERA, 1.39 whip. Robert Duggar on the other side, well, he's starting. The Pirates are dead last in the NL Central, 18 games under 500, 60-78 overall for the year, just 29-38 at PNC Park. Now, total-wise, Pittsburgh's 14-7 to the over when Williams throws out the first pitch. They're also 68% to the over at home when the line was 9 or higher. I like the Marlins in this spot here. Give me Miami plus 1.5 and the over 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Twins, Red Sox, 7-10 Boston. The Sox are minus 135, totals 11. We saw Nickel move toward Boston, moving upward on the total. The Sox open $1.30 up to 135. Total open 10.5 up to 11. Right now the Twins are plus 125 on the money line. We have Jose Barrios for the Twins, Ed Rodriguez for the Red Sox. Rodriguez comes into this game with a 1.36 whip. He's also walked 62 batters thus far on the season. Barrios on the other side for Minnesota. He's been pretty good this year. 11-7, 3.57 ERA, 163 strikeouts. The Red Sox are third in the NL East, 16 games back in that division. They're also winning just 34 out of 69 at Fenway. They're also winning just 41% of their games, taking on teams over 540. Now, the Twins on the other side, completely different story. They're first in the AL Central, 6.5 games ahead of Cleveland. They're officially 34 games over 500 at 86-52 overall for the year, 47-23 away from home. And they are winning 71% of their games, taking on teams between 460 and 540. Now, scoring-wise, the Twins are 19-8 to the over when Barrios makes the start. Boston's 20-8 to the over when Rodriguez makes the start. I'm going to lean Twins plus $1.25 in the over 11 runs in that game. Coffee time. Up early today, 3:30. I woke up 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. So 3:30 in the morning I woke up. All right, next game. White Sox, Indians, 7-10 Cleveland. The Indians are minus 295, totals at 9. We saw Nickel move toward Cleveland and movement downward on the total. The Indians open 290 up to 295. Total open 9.5 down to 9 flat. The White Sox are plus 265 on the money line. We have Ivan Nova for the White Sox, Shane Bieber for the Indians. Bieber's 12-7 with a 3.27 ERA and a 1.01 whip. He's also struck out 224 batters thus far in the season. Nova on the other side for Chicago, completely different story. He's 9-11 on the year, 4.48 ERA, 1.40 whip. The Indians are tied with Oakland for that second wild card spot in the American League. They're 21 games over 500 right now at 80-59 overall for the year. They're also 42-28 at Progressive Field. They also have a very impressive .683 win percentage when taking on teams under 460. Now, the White Sox on the other side really struggling against winning ball clubs. They've won just 20 out of 54, taking on teams over 540. They've also won just 35% of their games as the official road underdog. Now, total-wise, the Indians are 21-7 to the under when Bieber makes the start. I'm going to lean Indians -1.5 and the under 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Giants, Cards.